Hey, look yonder. Hey, look yonder. What's that I see coming this way? It's the Clearwater. It's the Clearwater with a sail fluttering so gay.
Hi, I'm Janelle Heslop. Today I'll be interviewing Samantha Heyman, the captain of the Clearwater Sloop. And she'll be telling us a little bit about the Clearwater's mission, which is to take people out on the water and educate them about the river. Samantha, it's very nice to be here on the Clearwater. I'm glad that you could join me.
Thanks, Janelle.
Can you tell us a little bit about the Clearwater's history?
The Clearwater was built in 1969 at the Harvey Gammage Shipyard in South Bristol, Maine. It was built by Pete Seeger, phenomenal musician and activist, to raise awareness of the plight of the Hudson at the time, which was one of the filthiest rivers in the country. And his idea was to raise awareness of it by getting people out sailing. The idea was that they would care a little bit more about protecting the river if they enjoyed themselves. Clearwater's mission is to preserve and protect the Hudson River and its waterways through education and activism to get communities engaged and involved and teach them about the river that holds so much life and affects their lives. I love the program that we do on board. It's such a wide-ranging program, and it does a superb job. It really does educate people, and people come away with a better feeling for their river.
This is a type of hearing. You can see it has deciduous scales.
RPMs is rotations per minute. Okay, now you can make a start turning to the right again.
So we go that way?
Well, see what happens. Try.
Okay.
There you go.
So how does it feel to work on the only sloop of its kind?
Pretty special, actually. It's definitely a point of pride, especially when you get around other ships that are similar. She handles like a small boat, and she can do things that other boats, maybe of her size, aren't quite capable of. We have one of the tallest masts around. We have the biggest mainsail in the U.S., the third biggest in North America. And so there's a lot of pride that goes along with working on this boat.
So how long do you stay on the sloop itself?
I live on board for about a week at a time. This is my home when I'm on the boat. I sleep here and do all my administrative work. Folks want to know, we're in our main salon area. This is our main living quarters. About 13 people live in this room. This is where we eat, sleep, and generally have lots of fun. And here we are in the most important part of the ship right here with the most important member of the crew. This is the cook, and this is the galley. It's a beautiful new galley as of about 4 years ago. That was one of my first pet project when I got here, was making this a bright, workable, healthy space for Julie. Did it work out okay?
Yes, you did a beautiful job.
I have 6 professional crew members who work on board for about 4 to 8 months at a time. We augment that with between 3 and 4 temporary crew members, interns, apprentices, who come on board for 1 month to 2 months. Every week we have 6 new volunteers, so we end up with between 14 and 17 people on board on a daily basis. What's involved with running the Clearwater runs the gamut from basic housekeeping to learning how to teach kids of all different ages. How do you teach to a 9-year-old? How do you teach to a 19-year-old? How do you keep everybody safe? How do you know what to look for? We're handling, like I said, the biggest mainsail in the country. It weighs a lot, so knowing good seamanship, how to keep yourself and your crew and your passengers safe at all times. And that is the tip of the iceberg of what you need to know to sail a boat like this. It's always fun being in New York City on the Clearwater because of the juxtaposition of city, modern, and then old school, traditional wooden boat. They're so different from each other. One of the things I like to do are just straight up open houses. We encourage donations, but it's free. From time to time, the public can go sailing, and we like to encourage the public to become members of Clearwater. Clearwater is a member-supported nonprofit, and the membership dues defray the costs of taking students out. And so encouraging folks to become members means they can come out sailing more, means they can come on board and volunteer for a week, means they can get their kids out on board. So it's
getting people involved.
Yeah. Our guest speaker today talked about dancing and music are things that everybody can relate to. It's definitely a universal language. So even if somebody says, "Oh, I'm not a sailor," you can engage them through music.
I
thought I heard the old man say, John Kanaka to Rye, tomorrow morn we sail away. John Kanaka to Rye, to Rye, oh, to Rye, John Kanaka to Rye.
For the past 10 years, you've been an instrumental part in the Young Women at the Helm program here on the Clearwater, which I've been a part of for several years. Can you tell us what it is and how it's helpful and what it's about?
Part of why we have Young Women at the Helm is to show girls at that crucial time that you really can be whatever you want to be. The idea was to get teenage women, young women, just out of their natural habitat. You know, we don't expect them to grow up to be sailors, but the idea is to expect them to just to stretch their powers of observation and their powers of their self-confidence and their idea of where they see themselves in the future. You know, you can be anything you want to be, a supermodel, a firefighter, president of the United States, you know, whatever.
So, how has it been being a female captain? Are there any obstacles and challenges that you face?
I've been lucky to be in this particular part of the industry where education is involved. There are more women involved, so I'm one of very many female captains in this little niche of the industry. But, you know, once you start coming in contact with ferry boats and tugboats and big ships, you stop hearing those female voices on the radio. But I've never had kind of any outright offensive talk, and you just stick with what you need to get done and be as nice and as courteous and professional as you can, and that's really served me well.
So thank you very much for joining us here today. It was a pleasure.
Janelle, it was always a pleasure having you on board. You can come back anytime.
I will.
Put you to work.
Hey, look yonder. Hey, look yonder. What's that I see coming this way? It's the Clearwater. It's the Clearwater. With a sail fluttering so gay.
I'll meet you down by the river, down by the river, down by the river, to see what we can see. Down by the river, by the Hudson River, down by the river, that's where I want to be. You may be feeling cramped and crowded. You may be feeling restless.
We never would have thought of swimming here at Croton Point a few years ago.
Yeah, but you know, after interviewing Bob Gabrielson, I found out that the river really isn't that bad. I mean, it's really fertile. We caught so many crabs. It was incredible.
Down by the river, by the Hudson River.
I got a crab.
Well, Riverkeeper has been working 38 years to help clean up this river.
I think that eventually this is going to get really good.
Me too.
Come on, Matt, let's go.
The water, that river will bring the world to your feet. Might be something washed down from the mountains or dredged right up from the ocean deep. I'll meet you down by the river, down by the river, down by the river, to see what we can see. Down by the river, by the Hudson River, down by the river, that's where I want to be. I'll meet you down by the river, down by the river, down by the river, to see what we can see. Down by the river, by the Hudson River, down by the river, that's where I want to be. Down by the river, that's where I want to be. You bet. Down by the river, that's where I want to be. Down by the river, that's where I